Welcome! Today we're going to break down one of those classic GCSE maths questions that looks, way harder than it actually is. It's all about tackling it one piece at a time, and by the end of this, you'll see how just a few simple steps can solve even the trickiest looking problems. So, let's just dive right in.
So here's our scenario. We've got Petra, she's got this L-shaped floor that needs a fresh coat of paint and a few tints to do it with. The big question is super simple. Has she actually got enough paint? Let's figure this out together.
Okay, so first things first, part A of the question lays out our first mission. Based on the numbers Petra has, will her paint be enough to cover the whole floor?
Right. Before we even think about the paint, we need to know what we're painting. I mean, how big is this floor anyway? Our very first step is to calculate its total area.
Now here's where we hit our first little puzzle. This isn't just a simple square or rectangle, right? It's this kind of awkward L shape. So what's the game plan? How do you find the area of a compound shape like this one?
Well, the strategy is actually wonderfully simple. You don't try to tackle the whole weird shape at once. The absolute key is to break it down. We're going to split it into two really simple rectangles, find the area of each one, and then just add them together. Easy.
Okay, so let's put that plan into action. Just imagine we draw a line, right about there, and boom. Instantly, that complicated L shape becomes two super simple rectangles. We can just call them A and B. All of a sudden, this is just two easy area calculations.
So let's start with rectangle A, that top section. We can see its width is 10 meters. The only tricky part is its height. We know the total height of the whole shape is 8 meters, and the bottom bit is 5 meters. So we just do a quick little subtraction. 8 minus 5, that leaves us with a height of 3 meters for rectangle A. So its area is just 10 times 3, which is 30 square meters. First piece of the puzzle, done.
Now for rectangle B, the bottom part. And you know what? This one's even easier. The diagram tells us everything we need to know. It's 6 meters wide and 5 meters high. So 6 times 5, well, that's another 30 square meters. Simple as that.
And now for the final step. We just put it all together. Area A is 30, area B is 30. We add them up, and the total area Petra needs to paint is 60 square meters. And just like that, the first half of our problem is solved.
Okay, so we have our target, 60 square meters. Now for step 2. What are we working with? Let's figure out exactly how much paint Petra actually has in those tins. The question gives us 3 crucial bits of info. First, she's got 3 tins of paint. Second, each tin holds 2.5 liters. And third, she's estimating that 1 liter of her paint will cover about 10 square meters. Let's start putting these numbers together.
First up, let's find out the total amount of paint she has. She's got 3 tins, and each one has 2.5 liters inside. So we just do 3 times 2.5, which gives us a grand total of 7.5 liters of paint.
So she has 7.5 liters. But what does that actually mean in terms of painting a floor? How much area will that cover? We take that total volume, 7.5 liters, and we multiply it by her coverage number. So 7.5 liters times 10 square meters per liter, that gives us a total paint coverage of 75 square meters.
And here we are, the final stage of part A. We have the 2 numbers we need, the size of the floor and how much area her paint can cover. It's time to compare them and get our answer.
Let's just look at these numbers side by side. The area she needs to paint is 60 square meters. The paint she actually has will cover 75 square meters. The answer is already becoming pretty obvious, isn't it? So the final answer for part A is a clear yes. She has enough paint. Now remember, for full marks in an exam, you'd want to explain why. You'd say that her paint coverage of 75 square meters is greater than the floor area of 60 square meters. But hold on, we're not quite done. You know how these exam questions love to do this? There's a part B that throws in a little twist. It introduces a new piece of information that we have to think about. And here is that change. It turns out the paint coverage is actually better than Petra thought. 1 liter will cover 11 square meters, not 10. So the big question now is, does this new information actually change our final answer from part A? To be absolutely sure, let's just run the numbers one last time with this new info.
Okay, let's recalculate her total paint coverage using this new, more accurate number. She still has her 7.5 liters of paint, but this time we're multiplying it by 11 square meters per liter. So 7.5 times 11, that gives us a new, even bigger total coverage of 82.5 square meters.
So, does this change our conclusion? Nope, not at all. The new coverage of 82.5 square meters is still way more than the 60 square meter floor area. In fact, she has even more paint to spare than before. The answer is still a definite yes.
And there we have it, problem solved. But, beyond just getting the right answer, what's the real lesson here? Let's talk about the exam strategy this question teaches us.
So here's your exam toolkit from just this one question. First, break it down. That scary L shape became two easy rectangles. Always look for ways to simplify. Second, show you're working. Every single calculation we did is worth method marks. Don't throw them away. Third, go on a treasure hunt for the key numbers. We pulled out the tins, the liters, and the coverage before we even started. And finally, answer the actual question. We didn't just stop at 75 square meters. We compared it back to the 60 to say yes, she has enough. If you can master these 4 steps, you'll be ready for pretty much anything they can throw at you.